Screencast is going to now cover how to update the different sections of the home page. In the last screencast, I talked a little bit about the toolbars and sort of navigating around the WordPress backend. But now that you have sort of a simple understanding of how to get around, we're going to start updating some of the different areas, and I'll show you how. So the first this second screencast is really going to talk about the home page. We're going to update this section here, the slider. We're going to update this section here, the Explore section, and then we're going to update the footer at the bottom. And it's fairly simple, but it's not necessarily intuitive, so I'm just going to show you each of the different sections. You will log in, just like we explained in the last screencast. And when we log in, we're going to focus on updating this section first, the slider. You can see that this really has the main articles of the website that people are seeing. Now, the slider is actually going to be updated by the posts section. So if you remember in the last screencast, I talked about how posts are only used for very specific special functions on the website. This is one of them, to update the slider. So what we're going to do is we're going to click this post here, this reflecting on the year of the next generation. This post is actually the same thing as this first one here, right here. Now it's very simple. You're going to put the title in here. The title is then going to appear here. You are going to put a snippet of information here, and then that snippet is going to appear here. Now if you noticed, I put quite a bit of information here, but it actually only pulled this much information. So it pulled from how do we get youth involved to these organizations. So how do we get youth involved to these organizations? Now the reason for that is that this particular section here, it's only pulling excerpts. And so it's going to pull an excerpt from what you throw into this content box here. You'll notice that this one here, homepage slider, is checked. And that ensures that it appears on the homepage slider. And then what you want to make sure is that you have this, when you click screen options, that's right here, you want to make sure that this box, the custom fields box, is checked. And the reason why you want that checked is because it allows you, there are going to be certain custom fields that we have to put information into in order for it to appear on the site. So we have the title and we have the, I guess, the snippet of information here, but we don't have the link and we don't have the picture. So in order to do that, that's why we have the custom field section. What you're going to do is you're going to add a new custom field. You're going to add the custom field link, and you're going to add the custom field representative picture. Now it should be pretty self-explanatory from here. Once you add the one link, what you do is you insert the page that you want it to link to. So I would, whoopsies. So I would paste the link of the page there, and then you're going to click that and you're going to add the custom field. Once you add it, it's going to kind of blink yellow like that. Once it blinks yellow like that, that means that you know it's been updated. Now, the representative picture is a little bit more complicated. If you remember in the last screencast, I talked about the media section here on the left. The media section is really where you insert pictures, and it's where you insert special things like these documents here. And so if we scroll down to page 2 here, I believe, you'll notice that I've already uploaded the picture. Now when you upload the picture, you're going to get all this special information, right? But the most important one here is this link, this file URL at the bottom. You're going to want to copy that. Now in the representative picture, you're then going to paste that photo link. Okay. Now, once you do that, you're going to update it, and then once you update it, what you're going to do is you're going to have the title, the article, the link, and then also the photo here. Alright, and that's basically what I did for all 4 sections. Now, just a quick note, there's a maximum of 4 slider articles, and there's a limit. So you don't have to delete the other articles, and you don't necessarily have to change the existing articles. You can just create a new article or a new post. You can create a new post. And then when you create a new post, you insert the title, you insert the text, you click homepage slider, you add the link custom field, you add the representative custom field, and once you do that, it's just going to put that article on the front page right here. Now, just a quick disclaimer that we're going to talk about in all the different screencasts. It's important to know that the photos that are being used here, especially on the slider, they really need to be you need to make sure that they're the exact right size. What I would suggest is that you go to media and you find the picture that you want to replace and you actually download it. Once you download that photo, you're going to open it up in your favorite program like Photoshop. So for this, I would click it, and you can, I believe you can download it. Well, one way you can download it is you can just go to the site, and you can save the image as. Now, once you save the image, I've opened up this image in Photoshop, and if I go to the image size, you can see that this image is exactly 500 by 500 pixels. Now, if you put an image into the slider and it's not exactly 500 by 500 pixels, it's not going to look like this. Say if it was 700 by 500 pixels, that image is going to come all the way here, and that's not going to leave any room for this text. If the image was 400 by 500, the image would go to here, and the text would come over. And so it's really important to make sure that any photos that you put into the site, especially on these special sections here, they are exactly the size that they're supposed to be. And the way that you do that is you can just download these photos, and you can use your favorite photo editing program like Photoshop to insert another picture over it, or just to make sure that your photo is the right size. Let's see, how am I doing on time? Okay, we have 3 minutes left. Okay, the next section here, going back, is the Explore section and the Footer section. Now, in order to update those sections, you're going to go to Pages. You're going to go to Home, because that's the home page that we're trying to update. And you'll notice that when you go to Home, there's actually nothing inserted here. And the reason for that is everything is found in the Custom Fields section. So if we go to the bottom, you'll see all these different custom fields. These custom fields are what is updating these sections. So this right here is what we call the sub-content section. It has a photo, it has a title, it has description, and it has a link. And you'll notice that in the custom fields, that matches it. There's a sub-content title, there's a picture, there's a link, and there's a description. And again, you can find those in the custom field drop-down menu. And once you add, but these have already been added, so you don't need to add those anymore. So what you basically do is you just insert your title, many ways to support, and it appears here. You insert your description for number 1, Kizuna's unique opportunity, and it appears here. You insert your link, you insert your photo, like I already mentioned, make sure your photo is the right size, and all of that will come into the site and appear in this section. The last part is the same thing with the footer. If you look in the custom field section, there's a section called footer left and a section called footer right. The information that's inserted is the same information that appears here. Now, just a quick note is that if you do happen to know a little bit of HTML, if you do not know how to know a little bit about web design, these fields are what we call rich text fields, which means that they can read information like this and display it accordingly. So I put in code that makes this bold. I put in code that makes this bold. These are rich text fields, and so that's important that if you do happen to know any HTML, you can kind of get a little, just slightly fancy with these different fields. But I've kind of covered the 3 different sections, talked about slider, which is done by posts, talked about this, which is the custom fields of the home page, and talked about this, which is the footer section of the custom fields of the home page. So that's just a covering the basics of the home page and how to update it.